Most kidney supplements, detoxes, and cleanse powders being sold online are completely useless. In fact, if your kidneys are already damaged, swallowing random herbal blends can actively make that damage worse. What actually improves kidney function isn't a product you buy. It is a 5-step, completely free framework you can start today that changes the biological environment your kidneys operate in within 24 hours. To understand how this works, we have to look at how kidneys silently deteriorate over decades. The main driver of this wear and tear is chronically elevated insulin. High insulin forces your kidneys to retain sodium and water, which drives up your blood volume and creates immense pressure inside the system. This pressure directly attacks the glomeruli, the microscopic filtering units inside your kidneys. They are highly sensitive to fluid dynamics, and sustained high pressure physically scars and destroys these delicate structures. Once they are gone, they do not grow back. Preventing kidney failure requires removing that physical stress. We have to drop your insulin levels to release the retained water and relieve the pressure crushing those tiny filters. Step 1 is to completely eliminate liquid sugar. Replace every soda, sports drink, and sweetened coffee with water, sparkling water, black coffee, or unsweetened tea. Sugar in liquid form hits your bloodstream almost immediately. Because there is no physical structure, no protein, and no fat to slow it down, it produces a massive, rapid insulin spike. This rule includes fruit juices and smoothies. Blending fruit strips away its protective fiber, turning what was once a healthy whole food into a direct hit of sugar water. Cutting these drinks out is the highest leverage action you can take. It instantly lowers your daily insulin load, which cuts the signal forcing your kidneys to retain sodium, granting immediate relief to your filtration system. Step 2 is restructuring how you eat. You need to build your meals around protein and fiber, and you need to eat those parts of the meal before you eat the carbohydrates. This sequence controls a process called gastric emptying. By consuming protein and fiber first, you create a physical bottleneck in your stomach that dramatically slows down the rate at which food digests and leaves your system. For breakfast, eating a bowl of cereal or plain toast triggers an immediate glucose spike. You need a structured meal instead, starting with eggs and spinach or full-fat Greek yogurt with nuts. For lunch and dinner, start with a base of chicken, fish, or tofu and a generous portion of mixed vegetables. If you add carbohydrates, choose high-fiber options like lentils, quinoa, or sweet potatoes instead of white pasta or rice. Manipulating the order of your food creates a biological shield. It forces the protein and fiber to do the heavy lifting, flattening the insulin curve before glucose even has a chance to enter the bloodstream and pressure your kidneys. Step 3 is time-restricted eating. You need to stop eating at least 3 hours before you go to sleep, and try to delay your first meal of the day by an hour or 2. The standard modern diet involves eating from the moment we wake up until right before we go to bed. That keeps insulin elevated, meaning the kidneys are constantly operating under high pressure for 16 or more hours a day. This chart shows exactly why timing matters. Creating a fasting gap gives your body a dedicated overnight window where insulin levels finally hit absolute baseline, putting the kidneys into a low-pressure recovery state. Maintaining this overnight rest period actively lowers resting blood pressure. It gives the delicate filtration structures a break, reducing the daily mechanical wear and tear they have to endure. Step 4 is to take a 5 to 30-minute walk immediately following your meals. Physical movement does something very specific at the cellular level. When leg muscles contract during a walk, they physically pull glucose out of your blood, using a biological pathway bypassing the need for insulin. Look at this comparison. If you sit down after eating, you get a sharp, aggressive glucose spike. But if you walk, your muscles clear that glucose naturally, resulting in a gentle, flattened curve instead. Clearing that glucose mechanically stops oxidative stress in its tracks. It prevents post-meal inflammation from damaging the microscopic blood vessels inside the kidney filters. Step 5 addresses the persistent myth that you need to constantly flush your system with enormous amounts of water. You only need to target 2 to 3 liters of fluid a day, depending on your size and activity level. Forcing excess water into a system with reduced kidney function is actively harmful. It causes the kidneys to struggle to excrete the load, which can lead to hyponatremia, a potentially fatal condition where the sodium in your blood becomes dangerously diluted. Alcohol works against this as a diuretic that forces fluid out of the body. What your kidneys actually require is adequate perfusion, consistent normal blood flow, not a continuous flood. This chart illustrates the easiest way to measure your hydration. Stop counting cups and look at the color of your urine. Dark amber means you need more fluid, clear means you're overdoing it, and a pale yellow indicates you are exactly on target. Achieving perfect perfusion through balanced hydration gives your kidneys the exact fluid dynamics they need to operate efficiently without drowning the system. Within hours of making these changes, a chain reaction occurs. Your insulin levels fall, the excess sodium is excreted, your blood volume drops, and the internal pressure on the glomeruli eases. But we need a reality check here. Doing this for 24 hours changes the immediate operating environment, but it cannot magically reverse decades of structural damage overnight. The secret to kidney health is compounding. It comes from stacking these routine, low-pressure days back to back over weeks, months, and years. Ignore the flashy supplement industry trying to sell you a shortcut. You can implement this completely free framework starting with your very next meal. The trajectory of chronic disease is not a fixed one. You possess direct control over the daily mechanical stress placed on your vital organs. If you found this framework helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video to help others protect their health.